Hello lovely people, and welcome to a new reading vlog. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do one this week, but it's actually my first week back at school. I never thought I would be back in school, but I'm pursuing my degree in advertising and marketing. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Noah. I'm a bookish and lifestyle vlogger. Hello. Born and raised and still based in New York City, if that sounds like of any interest to you. I would absolutely love it if you would stick around and subscribe at the end if you so please. Please excuse my pimples. These are like recovering period and maskne, and I think these are from my hair, so I'm trying to like clip it back now. Right now I'm waiting for my second class to start. It's still syllabus week, right? So we're not really doing anything, just getting to know the class and the professor and what we're going to be learning. I'm in an accelerated program, so hopefully I should be done and graduate by December. I'm very nervous. I've been out of school for almost 2 years now. I graduated with a degree in politics, so this is definitely going to be new for me. I'm just waiting for the next class. I'm catching up on some YouTube here and there, listening to some music. I thought I would journal. Will I have time to explain the books? Probably not, so I'll be back. My second class and last class of the day just finished. The professor said that she usually lets us out 30 minutes before. All my classes are 3 hours long, so that's really nice because all my classes are actually back to back. So instead I wanted to go to the library tomorrow, but it's supposed to snow tomorrow, like 80%, so I'm gonna go to the library now. I have 2 books to return and 2 books to pick up, so I'm returning Blood and Honey and Throne of Glass. I'll have my Goodreads link down below if you want to hear in-depth reviews, but I gave these both 3 stars, I believe. The books that I want to read for this week's vlog is, this first one is Film for Her, which is a poetry anthology by Orion Carloto. I followed her for a long time on Instagram and I read her first book, Flux, so obviously I had to purchase this one. I started it yesterday, so I should be able to finish unless I want to take it slow. Novels I want to read are The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr. This was in my reading vlog last time, but I didn't get to it, so this is going to be a high priority. And then next up are 2 other library books. This is The Wedding Pact by Katee Robert, which is the second book in the series of the O'Malley brothers or family. And then the next one is a recommendation from Monica Kim, who we all know and love, and this is We Are Not Free by Tracy Chee. I think this is YA. This takes place after the attack on Pearl Harbor. 14 Japanese American teens. There are now curfews and registrations, and people are being arrested, and Japanese people are obviously being thrown into the detention camps. 14 teens who have grown up together in Japantown, San Francisco. 14 teens who form a community and a family as interconnected as they are conflicted. 14 teens whose lives are turned upside down when over 100,000 people of Japanese ancestry are removed from their homes and forced into desolate incarceration camps. I know this was one of Monica's favorite books. It was possibly her #1, so I knew I had to pick it up right away. Also, as someone who is Japanese American, I actually haven't read too much about Japanese American history because I'm first generation. I think that this can be a good look into that, and I also wanted to read more historical fiction. This one, The Wedding Pact, is obviously going to be a romance, and I think this one is following Carrigan O'Malley, the sister, and James Halloran. This book is obviously my January book pick of the month, so I know that I want to get to it. This is following Isaiah and Samuel, and they are 2 slaves on a plantation, and about their friendship and possibly their romantic relationship. I'm gonna get dressed because it is freaking freezing outside. I need to bundle up and get all the layers. Old enough for Uggs? Possibly. Okay, let's get ready. I'm going for the Uggs look plus this cute little stitch mask that Coda got me. I had dinner. I made dinner today with the pressure cooker, the Instant Pots, and I realized it was the first time I had casserole, but it was with chicken breast, broccoli, carrots, celery, what's naganegi, whatever, just a bunch of veggies and then brown rice, and it turned out pretty good. Topped it with some cheese and it was great. I followed a recipe but threw in my own vegetables and it turned out fine. The 2 books that I got were Duke by Default by Alyssa Cole. I tried to listen to this via audiobook. This is the one that because I always wanted to read Alyssa Cole's books because she's very popular, but I listened to an audiobook and the Scottish accent was garbage. It like wasn't even a Scottish accent, so I couldn't listen to it, and this is why I have them physically now. And this is the sequel to A Princess in Theory. And then the second book I got was a graphic novel by Jean Len Yang, who wrote American Born Chinese, and I believe he also wrote the other books that I'm forgetting that I will have on the screen. It's YA, and I believe it might be about his life. I haven't done any reading today, so I am right now going to finish the last like 4 minutes I have left of Superstore. I'm catching up on the show, and then I'm going to read a couple more poems of Film Per. I lied, I read one poem before class. Tonight before bed I'm going to get into The Prophets. Before that, I had been freaking out about my online course because obviously I have remote classes. I have 4 remote classes and 2 online courses, and those don't meet at all, so I was freaking out about the dates because some of them were for like summer courses, and I'm like freaking out about deadlines already. Like I haven't purchased all of my textbooks yet, so I'm just gonna wait until I have all my classes. So I have 2 more classes on Wednesday to see like what textbooks I actually need to get, and I decided not to like freak out about it now, so I'm de-stressing with Superstore because Tuesdays I don't have any classes, so I've designated Tuesday as my online course day, so I just have like school on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'm just gonna like relax for the night and worry about it tomorrow because I have all day to do that, and I will update you later. I'm in class right now, and this is insane. It's my last class, so I'll update y'all later because I didn't update y'all yesterday, but it's actually kind of easier to make friends through online. I have not really been doing a lot of reading, so it's Thursday. I'm doing some homework. Right now I'm doing a reading while like keeping my eye on the basketball game tonight. Miami Heat has been on a losing streak, which really sucks, and they were up 20-ish points and now they're down by like 15, so that sucks. But I read a total of 279 pages this week because after class ends I have 3-hour classes and I'm taking 6 this semester. I just want to unwind, and I end up leaning more towards watching Netflix and catching up on my shows as opposed to reading. So I still am reading at night, but it's not the amount that I would like it to be. That will change on Friday and Saturday, which I will explain. I just wanted to update y'all about that, and I wanted to like show that because, you know, school is going to change my schedule, my life, my reading schedule. I read like 4 pages while waiting for my computer to restart again after Chrome updated. I have started The Prophets, and it's not what I expected. It definitely has more perspective, so depending on the chapter it follows the perspective of a different slave. So I'm still getting acquainted with the characters. I'm only like 110 pages ish in, so I'm not fully acquainted with them. I sometimes still get confused between who Isaiah and Samuel are, but I'm hoping that that will change when I read more. Good almost afternoon. Oh my god, it is so cold today. I spent maybe like an hour and a half in bed in my heated sheets because it was so cold. It is 21 degrees right now. It was 18 before, which is -6 Celsius. I just wanted to give a little update on how today and tomorrow is gonna go. Fridays are my no laptop Fridays, but I'm actually gonna change that name to no watch Fridays just because I do have to do schoolwork now. So this is just a way for me to encourage myself to read more and spend less time on Netflix and YouTube and Hulu and stuff binge watching shows. I hope that today I can spend a lot of time reading, but tomorrow for class I'm going to be doing an unplugged day, which we have to do for an assignment. We can't use any internet, no TV, no radio. We can only use our phone for alarms and to make phone calls and things like that. So no media, so we can't listen to like my Spotify. I'm gonna try to do that. My sister is going to join me because she actually watches more media than I do. Hopefully I can get a lot of reading done and catch up what I haven't been able to do because of school for the weekend. And I need to charge my battery because now it's dying because it's so cold. I was able to finish all of the homework that I wanted to do for today before 12, since I'm doing a day unplugged for tomorrow from 12 a.m. to 11:59. And I'm also now watching the Wife Upstairs live show for Gabby Abby's book club book troop, the book troop with her sister Rachel, and I originally gave The Wife Upstairs 4.5. I really did enjoy it. Just hearing everyone's thoughts about it and kind of helps me to use them as a sounding board to clarify my own thoughts, and I'm starting to think maybe like 4.5, maybe like 3.5 instead, because there were a lot of plot holes that seemed really underdeveloped, which is fine because this is Rachel Hawkins' first thriller, and I do think that creating an atmosphere is really hard for a thriller. I'm going to change my rating for that right now, and then I'm not sure if I want to spend a lot of time watching the rest of this. Maybe I can get started on some other homework that I have to do, because I have some quizzes that I can get an early start on before they're due for next class. So it's past 12, it's currently 12:07, and I'm ready for bed. If my face looks shiny because I put on Vaseline, since my face has been a little bit extra dry because it's been extra cold. So I've unwinded obviously, and I'm getting ready to tuck myself into bed to read my book, and I'm ready for my unplugged 24 hours to begin. My TBR is kind of ambitious. It's all of the library's books that I have. I basically can't really use internet, so the only things I can use my phone for are calling and alarms, and I guess like my camera like this. So I'm gonna try to not use my phone at all. I don't even know if I want to set an alarm, just because I wake up at the same time or like time range anyway. Let's just get to reading, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I thought that I would get a lot of reading done. It's currently 4:30. My mom and sister have left to go on the walk around the park, and I thought I would be able to join them to kill some time, but I'm still here doing my homework that is taking longer when it's just reading 2 chapters of my textbook. And I baked cookies. You know, typically I would have loved to listen to a podcast or an audiobook for that, but I can't do that. I was only able to read a couple pages of The Prophet, but instead of me ranting about how much reading I haven't done, let me just talk about how The Prophets is going. This blurb tells you that this is going to be about Samuel and Isaiah. There's an older man, a fellow slave, who wants to start preaching the master's gospel on the plantation. The enslaved begin to turn on their own. Isaiah and Samuel's love, which was once so simple, is seen as sinful and a clear danger to the plantation's harmony. I thought we would mostly be focusing on Isaiah and Samuel's life, but there are lots of different chapters in the perspectives of other slaves on the plantation. There are chapters in the perspective of the master and his son. There is one king and she, yes, that was confusing to me too. I think she is supposed to be the ruler of the land in Africa from which some of these slaves on the plantation have descended from. It is written very, very beautifully, but I feel like I would understand it better had I been analyzing it for, say, an English class. Would I enjoy it more? Probably not, because I don't typically enjoy books for class. I feel like it takes me out of that experience, but I feel like this is why I don't really read a lot of literary fiction, because I just feel so fucking dumb for it. There are parts where I'm starting to understand. How far am I? I can't really tell you because I, you know, can't use my Goodreads, but I'm definitely over 50% of the way through, and I really do want to finish this today. I'm on page 256 right now. I'm like confused a lot of the time, which is the thing that sucks, because I do find that when I'm reading the chapters, it's confusing, but in the moment, I find it to be written very well, especially for a debut novel. I ended up falling asleep before dinner. I was reading, so I didn't get to do nearly as much reading as I wanted to, but after dinner, my sister and I were working on her puzzle, a 1,000-piece puzzle of the zodiac signs for astrological signs, so we were doing that. There's only 40 minutes, so Haruka is making focaccia, and I'm gonna try to finish my book because my reading plans didn't go nearly as I had planned. Next book. Hello, I have spent time on my phone. I decided not to use my phone at all until I went to bed. My sister and I got caught up doing the puzzle again before I went to sleep, and I read some of this as well. I read 71 pages of this, which I'm really glad about. It would be awesome if I could finish this today, but the book is 300 plus pages, so we'll see, because I did only read one chapter of my textbook yesterday, so I have one chapter left. I have a total of 621 pages for this week. Yesterday I finished The Prophets, and I think I'm giving it 3 stars, just for all the reasons that I had mentioned already. I mean, the end was kind of interesting, but still kind of confusing. I just wish that there was more about Isaiah and Samuel only, and the side characters remain side characters. What I learned from this experience of no internet, it's really not that easy, and I think that it's good to do every now and again. I never thought that I was someone who needed to take a social media detox or anything, or take a break, because I don't spend all day like documenting what I do in a day on my stories. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I do like flipping through people's stories and things like that. Yes, in terms of endlessly scrolling through my explore page or my Twitter feed or things like that, I definitely gained that time back, and I got to bake my cookies. And you know, I would have loved to listen to an audiobook or a podcast, but I'm realizing I don't need to be stimulated all the time. I don't need to read my book and watch a read with me at the same time, even though it might feel comforting to feel like you have a buddy when you read, or create an ambiance with like a fireplace on YouTube or something. That's great, but it's not necessary. So I'm kind of glad that I did this. I'm really excited to write up the paper for this assignment, and I actually would really love to see what my classmates did, because though baking took up a lot of the time, I had really just planned on reading all day, and I know that a lot of people aren't avid readers, so I'm interested to see how other people would spend their day. I feel like if you're watching this vlog, you are probably an avid reader. So if there was a day without internet, you know, let me know what other things besides reading you would do. But I hope that this vlog is interesting, because I feel like a lot of it was just me being overwhelmed about school, because it's the first week. Because I had finished reading The Prophets, I did read 10 books this month, which honestly is a really good amount, but I feel like it's mostly due to the fact that I was reading before school started at the beginning of the month. Kind of nervous to see how the rest of the year is going to go. I think I only vlogged this morning. We went grocery shopping because there's supposed to be a huge snowstorm. It's slowly starting to snow more and more, and I've only read like 3 pages because I did my homework. I went grocery shopping, and then I just I didn't even watch Netflix or anything. I'm now a Ana Luisa ambassador, so I do have a discount code for you down below at the very bottom of my description, where I include all of my discount codes. Hi everyone, it's actually Tuesday. We had a snowstorm yesterday, which was really actually nice. I love it. It snowed a lot. Finally here to wrap up the vlog. I read only a total of 725 pages, and I completed 3 books. Yesterday I did finish this one, so it doesn't count for reading it in its entirety, but I do have a star rating. The first book that I started off this reading vlog with, if I'm getting the dates right, Film for Her. I started it Sunday before the vlog. It is a collection of poetry, and I'm not sure what to rate it. It also feels kind of nonfiction to me, so no rating for this one. The second book that I read is The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr., and I'm giving this one 3 stars. I just wish that I was able to understand it better. And then the last book is The Wedding Pact by Katee Robert. Honestly, I think I might go 4.5. I haven't even written a Goodreads review for this one or The Prophets, so I'm not entirely sure, but I did really like this. It's so much more smutty than the first book, The Marriage Contract. It kind of just ruins it because I don't think that this model's good looking, and I think that Teague is way hotter, but I really love Kerrigan. I think she's so badass and cool, and she gives me Maggie Q vibes, especially when she played Nikita, and I love that. Also, I really want a book for Sloane, one of the younger sisters, which I really hope. I think the next book is Fallen Killian. I'm still kind of finding my footing with now it being the second week of school. I'm starting to do my homework right after class ends, just so that I could get a head start on it, and I think I'm finding a better footing, so I hope that I can over the rest of the semester. And since it is now February, I thought I would give a wrap up of this month, including The Wedding Pact. I actually read a total of 11 books this month, and I'm pretty happy with how it's going. I'm definitely on track for my Goodreads goal, and my top book of the month, I would say I didn't have any full like 5 stars, so I would say that the highest rating one would be The Wedding Pact. Little Women and A Princess in Theory by Alyssa were both 4 stars. Princess in Theory I rated lower because of the whole lying aspect that I didn't really like. I'd say I started out pretty mediocre, but you can only go up from here. So I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give it a big thumbs up and let me know what you are looking forward to reading in February. I will be participating in Blackathon. If I can get the books to come from the library, I might have to go on a book buying little shopping, like a mini spree, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.